Hi, Paul Higgins here. In this tutorial, we're going to look at adding XYZ depth soundings to a chart. So what are XYZ depth soundings? I'm going to show you. And then we're going to show you how to set up SATU chart. We're going to look at the controls that it's created for the XYZ. And optionally, we're going to create an XML polygon so we can see the area that's created. And then we're going to create a chart with XYZ depths. And we're going to create a chart with contours. Okay, what are XYZ, or as we say in Canada, XYZ depth soundings? They are files created by various agencies around the world that provide depth soundings mainly for their country. So if we look at SAS Planet here, there's an area in Canada, northern Canada, this is British Columbia, and there's this bay called Emily Carr. And really there is no good map, marine map that shows the depths for that area. But fortunately, the Canadian government has provided some files to actually show what the depths are there. How they do it, I don't know. Maybe they scan with helicopters or drones or whatever. Maybe a boat. So anyway, they provide files to provide the soundings here. So let's take a look at one of those files. Here is the one of them, and what it has in it, it has usually a header, and it has the latitude and longitude and the depth, and that is describing what is in the rows following it. So the first entry here is the latitude, followed by the longitude, followed by the depth at that particular latitude and longitude. Now, if you want to know where you get these files, if you go to SATU chart here, click the help, and it will bring up the help in your browser. And if you go down here, you will find a section on adding XYZ depth soundings to a chart. And here are a bunch of links that tell you where you can get these files. There's one for NOAA, there's one for the Canadian Hydrographic Services, Europe has another one here, and I'm not sure where this one is, but it has it, and the same down here. So if you have those files, we could go back to our Emily Carr inlet here and provide the depths here, and that's what we're going to do next. Okay, first off we have to look at how to set things up in SATU chart. So here's SATU chart, and the way you select these here XYZ options is you go to the SAS Planet options here, and you click this here checkbox that says add XYZ depths, and then you go back and notice over here in the secondary panels there's something that's going to appear here. It's these controls that control the XYZ, and that's what we'll talk about next. Okay, let's take a look at those XYZ controls that we just brought up on the secondary panel. Here they are here. There is a field here where you select the actual file. There is a couple of check boxes here. One of them is to create a polygon for the XYZ boundaries. In other words, all those that are latitudes and longitudes, if you take them all together, you can actually create a polygon of the area so you can see what it's supposed to be doing. And we're going to do that next. And there's depth contours, and I'll talk about that later. Okay, so let's go. That's all for that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is create a polygon of the XYZ boundaries and display it on SAS Planet. So if we go back to SAT chart here, if I click this entry here, create polygons, and then we select someplace, and I'm going to select the Emily Carr CSV file. And what it did, it's going to flash this up pretty quick. It tells you it created a polygon and put it in the temporary directory of SAT chart. So let's go to the temporary directory of SAT chart. Here it is here. And we just created a polygon. What's the time? 10:18. So we just created this one. So there's the polygon. We this is an old one. This is the polygon we just created, and it took all the latitudes and longitudes in the XYZ file and created a polygon from it. And we can load that into SAS Planet to see what it looks like. So if we go to a SAS Planet here, we go to Operations, Open, and we go to the temporary directory of SAT chart. This is, I'm using a testing directory right now. So it has a temporary directory called temp. And we're going to select that file. Where'd it go? This one. I should get rid of the other one. Okay, we select that. It brings up a window saying you're putting it first off in a category called Emily Carr, which I created. And you can really take the defaults here and press start. And it imported it. And there it is. So if we look at that, it looks like our Emily Carr is right in the middle there. So there's going to be some depth soundings for Emily Carr. Okay, so that is all there is to creating the polygon and displaying it on SAS Planet. Now we're going to create a chart. And we're going to use those XYZ files we found in that file and put them on the chart. So let's go back to SAT chart here. And we're going to select their XYZ file again, which was the Emily Carr CSV file. Had the latitudes and longitudes and depths in meters. And then it says we selected one depth soundings here. Then it comes back and tells us what we should be doing. It says on SAS Planet, display the area you want to create a chart. Okay, here's our Emily Carr. So we go down, zoom in on Emily Carr so we can put in all the depths in here. Now, that I guess it is. So we can see out here too. So then, what does it say? In the chart location name field, enter a name. So we'll call it Emily Carr Inlet. Okay. And then it says set the depth units the same as the XYZ file. Well, in that XYZ file, the depths were meters. So we select that. And then it says create chart. Sorry. Okay, we successfully created that there chart, and we'll go take a look at it in a few minutes on OpenCPN. Okay, here's OpenCPN. So what we're going to do is do a scan for charts. charts. We've got our directory in here, so we simply scan for new charts. And we go over to that area, and there is Emily Carr, and if you just zoom in on it, you can see that it has put the depths in there. Now, depending on the resolution of your display, this may look different, but you can see it put in the depths. Okay, that's all there is to looking at it on OpenCPN. Now let's try creating the same chart, but this time with contours. So if I go back to OpenCPN here, you notice there's depth contours here, and we can specify which contours we want to see. And we'll select the same depth file again, the XYZ file. And we follow that. We make sure that we got on SAS Planet, we got our the same place, Emily Carr here. Go back to here. Okay, Emily Carr contours. Different name. And we'll put the depths as meters because that's what it was in that file. And we'll say create chart. So this time it's going to put in some of the depths, but it's also going to put contour lines of the depths. Adding the depths. Takes a little longer to put in the contours. Okay, it finished. So let's go back to OpenCPN and see what it looks like. Here's it without the contours. So we'll scan for new charts. Charts. Scan for new charts. And now we got two of them here, so let's take a look at this one. You notice it still put in a lot of the depths, but it also put in contour lines. So here's the one for the depths being 5 meters. Out here it's 10 meters. This is 15 meters. Way out here is 30 meters deep. Okay, so you can still see some of the depths depending on what they are, but we've also put in contours. So that's all for creating the chart with contours. Okay, I showed you everything. I showed you what XYZ depth soundings are. Showed you how to set up SATA chart. How to set the controls there. And option how to create a polygon of the area from the latitudes and longitudes in the file. So you can see it on SAS Planet. And then we created a chart with XYZ depths, and then we created a chart with contours. Thank you for watching.